Okay. Welcome to the DPF Doctors Automotive Pubcast. So we're sat in the pub. Special guests today from the other side of the world, sitting there trying to keep a straight face because I look like one of them. Got my mullet. Grew it this morning purposely.
I was going to call you Hollywood Hulk Darren or something.
Yeah. We could. We'll move on to that in a second. We'll let our listeners know who we've got in this morning. Anyway, so special guests all the way from Australia travelled to my little beach bar today to do the podcast. So we're joined by Kosta and Jeff from the Garage Network in Australia. So any of our Australian listeners will be well aware of who you are, but we'll go through an introduction in a second and let people know what to expect. So Pubcast, that's the name of the game. We'll talk a little bit about, who you guys are, but really we're just here to chat as if we're sat in the pub, really let people get to know you a bit better. So welcome, guys. Jeff, you brought a beer. Oh,
certainly have.
Right, before we start.
You know, the funny thing about Foster's, no one in Australia drinks Foster's.
Do you know what? I can understand why. Nobody in the world should actually.
I did find some in a Dan Murphy's, and obviously being from Blackpool in the UK, I used to drink Foster's, and I saw it in a Dan Murphy's, and I was like, I had to buy it, and I bought it, and I drank it, and it was crap. I wouldn't have cleaned my dirty wheels with it.
Jeff, I can confirm it's actually only 10 a.m. here in the UK.
Well, go on, give it a try.
So why'd you start drinking so late?
Well, because I didn't have any decent beer to drink. That's. But I thought, I'll pay homage. It's got Melbourne written on there. That's nice. where I met you guys in Melbourne recently. So I thought today would be a good chance as well to podcast the podcasters, because you guys do this a lot from the other side. So you're normally sitting armed with questions, and I recently done one with you guys and stuff. It was the first time I'd been involved, and I thought, do you know what? Quite a good idea. Let's people get to know your personalities a little bit, So I've seen your personalities in the pub. So I thought, why not invite them to the pub? They're good crack.
So obviously very proper and professional is what you're trying to say.
I think I drank water all of that night.
Yeah, me too.
In that bar, yeah.
Water with an umbrella.
To be honest, yes. I vividly remember Kosta drinking ladies' drinks with umbrellas in it and stuff like that. It is perfectly acceptable for a grown man to drink things with umbrellas, but not when you're from the north, as Jeff will.
His drink had umbrellas and salad in it at the same time.
It was
criminal. Guys, look, I know where you are going with this, but let's be very clear. It only took about 15 minutes before you were having the same drink.
It's like I've just tried the Foster's, but it doesn't mean I'm going to drink it when I finish work tonight, So, but anyway, before we get going, let's talk a little bit, briefly. We don't want the idea of this is it's not too businessy or worky or technical, but you guys, well known in Australia from, being part of the team behind the Garage Network. You currently have 3,000 or so members, I believe.
3.5-ish, yeah.
3,500. So a large network. I feel your pain. I run my own network. We're not here to talk about that today, so we'll shelve that. But so a lot of work will go on behind the scenes of that, So and you guys are the Garage Network. You're starting to provide. It was initially just a forum, if you like, that's started to evolve and things.
Well, we actually started with a bit of Jeff's idea. So a lot of us were probably about a 10 to 15 kilometer radius from each other, so not far away at all, but never really met. And Jeff was sort of providing some chemicals for sort of us around that little perimeter. He'd always be, you'd get along with him. This guy's awesome. This guy's great. And then we made an arrangement. We actually flew to Melbourne for the last AA that we met, but the previous one. And yeah, we all, even though we're all so close to each other, we all met there, met in Melbourne, and kicked off a friendship. And we thought, you know what, started with 10 people, not even, maybe 5, 6 people, really.
So the point here is, Jeff moved to Australia and didn't have any friends. And then
Correct.
before you know
I
it,
still
the
haven't
garage,
got any.
and before you know it, the Garage Network has 3,500 members because Jeff was lonely.
And
That's
still has
kind
no
of
friends.
what I'm taking from this. You know, Jeff was one of
Darren,
them
Yeah.
guys.
Costa is not telling you the full truth here.
Uh-oh.
So,
Oh, no.
so Costa flew to
no.
Melbourne 2018, 19?
Or whatever it was.
Pre-COVID.
It was.
Anyway,
Pre-COVID.
Costa flew to Melbourne. He'd never met one of the other admins of the Garage
Careful with
Network,
this
Mike
story.
Carnamella.
Careful with this story.
And Costa
We're
actually
under the
met Mike.
we're before 9 p.m. airing this. Before we go too far.
This is clean as a whistle. Costa met Mike for the first time whilst Mike was being confused for a customer of somebody else. I think somebody was selling some services, and Mike seemed very interested at the time, and Costa kind of intervened. Mike was mistaken for somebody else.
So this a bit like when you're in the pub and some, you know, there's your cousin or something like that. There's a female and she's getting chatted up of some horrible person and that, and you go and pretend it's your girlfriend to save them.
It's
like an automotive sort of version of that.
I will happily. Yes. I will. When it's midnight in the UK, maybe I will give the full explanation of that story.
Yeah,
but
I look forward to
you
that.
know, I'm keeping it PG.
Yeah. So that's kind of the gist of it, isn't it? You sort of rescued him from the, you know, getting chatted up in the bar or something.
Bit of like a damsel in distress sort of situation.
That's it.
Was it a damsel? Did somebody say damsel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it a damsel?
It was a damsel with a beard, but that's quite
an Adam's apple.
You know.
That's welcome to Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I spent a week in Melbourne recently, so seen the sights and seen all sorts of people and stuff. So it was good. So that's how it sort of started. Then really was Jeff didn't have any friends. He liked it because you rescued a dude that was being chatted up by someone he didn't want to chat to, and then you kind of grew this network and a 3,500 strong sort of group. Where now, I obviously you guys are the online world that we've all been born into the last couple of years. You know, I've been watching you guys with interest, and you've had, you know, been getting people in from overseas to deliver training. A couple of good friends of mine, Brandon Steckler and Tom Denton, have been involved. I know you guys talk to Andy Sava as well a lot, and in fact, Andy says hello. I spoke to him yesterday. And I said that I was going to be talking to you guys. So yeah, brilliant guy, you know. So now it's good that you've evolved now into bringing in, you know, people from other parts of the world, you know, and bringing them to Australia without having to put them on a plane, really, as well as a big plus, you know. Speaking through experience, it's not a small little hop across the water, you know.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that in the past, right? It's not an easy trip. Tell you what, especially if you're going to be coming here to then be on and be training people, it's not an easy task.
It's not, and you know, we were probably a bit naive, to be honest. You know, I've never been to Australia. I've always fancied it. Got invited across. Yeah, let's go. We'll do it in a week. You know, we once done we done America in a weekend. You know, a couple of years, 2019. Quite a funny story, actually. We went across to Super Saturday, and brilliant. Left here on the Friday morning, traveled back on the Monday. So weekend, training, social events. It was brilliant. You know, the hospitality was amazing. You know, but flying back there on the Monday, it was like, this is a little bit nuts, but it doesn't compare with traveling to Australia for a
I
week.
was going to say it's only 10 hours or something, isn't it, from the UK?
A little hop to Ireland, flew to Dublin, and then 7.5 hours from Dublin to Philadelphia.
Oh God, that's like driving down the road here.
But the funny story was on the way back. Gareth, my mate that owns Avon Tuning, was with us at the airport. He was flying to London. We were flying to Dublin. And he sort of winding us up because he'd been upgraded. He got an upgrade to business class. And he's like taking a photograph of his seat. Yeah. Look, I'm on business class. So we got on the economy class Aer Lingus flight to Dublin. Then it's late. It's a nighttime flight. So it's about 2 a.m. And I get up to go to the loo. All the planes asleep apart from these four guys who happen to be Lewis Capaldi, the singer, and his band in economy class drinking beers. So I end up sat there having just a random bit of banter with Lewis Capaldi and his band. And I got a photograph. So when Gareth landed in Heathrow, I just sent him the picture back. Go, yeah, but you weren't sitting having a beer in economy class and he was like, what? But when I said to them, they'd just done, they were exhausted. They'd just done this massive US tour. And he says, so where you been? I went, oh, been to Philly for the weekend. He went, what? He went, for the weekend. He went, so yeah, it is. So again, next time I'm doing it over a little bit longer. But we got off the plane on the Tuesday morning, getting in there and come straight to work. So that was the deal. We said we'll go. We were stacked up with work. I took Callum with us, who's my colleague in the workshop. So the only way it would work was we got off the plane and go straight to work. So it was quite funny that they even thought, what? And they've just done a massive tour, no sleep and stuff. And he went, yeah, well, at least he says you'll have a quiet couple of days when you get back. And I went, no, I'm going straight to work. And they were like,
but you guys coming to Australia had a bit of a disaster, right? Because I was sort of following you guys. You guys were delayed on the way. It was like a 30-something hour debacle, wasn't it?
Slightly, yeah. Do you know what was funny though? It created, when we got to Australia, there was all these random people. Obviously, there's lots of people there that I don't know. How many people in Australia know who me and Steve are? There was a few guys coming up and saying, yeah, we'll follow you and stuff like that. But the funny thing was people like, yeah, you made it. Because it went a bit viral, like where these guys are traveling to Australia and the plane's been cancelled. And so we're just about to board the flight. And of course, me and Steve wind each other up all the time, So I looked at my phone. We could see the plane. Our bags were on the plane. It was on the, at the gate ready to board. 10 minutes before boarding. And I got a text because I'd booked the flights. And the text was, your flight has been cancelled. It will now fly tomorrow. So 24-hour delay. So I'm looking at my phone saying to Steve, and he doesn't believe a word I'm saying because we wind each other up. We're having a bit of banter at the airport. We're going on quite a long trip. So we're in good spirits. And he's gone, I'll not repeat because we'll keep it clean. Something off. Work her out for yourself. And then I went, look around the airport. And as you looked up and looked round, there was so many other people reading their phone, telling their mate. So everyone's phone went at the same time from the airline to say that the flight's cancelled. So that was, we ended up 26 hours delayed flying out, which meant we missed our connecting flight from Dubai.
Yeah, wow.
So we got to Dubai not knowing that we could get on the one later that day. So we had 19 hours in Dubai.
Wow.
Got there though, So, but tiredness, it created a lot of tiredness and stuff. But do you know what? When we got there, it was probably a really good. If you couldn't make it up, but it was probably a really good PR exercise because everyone, all these random people had been following. So we were at the event, the AA event, and people are just coming up and like going, oh, I can't believe you guys made it, and And
Yeah.
that was a bigger conversation than like anything else, people had watched the journey, so
Create a buzz.
yeah, it was
Create a
good.
buzz.
It was good.
Yeah.
And before then, the first, so the following day we got the hotel at 1 a.m. Done had to do all our COVID tests and things to be allowed out the hotel. And we're luckily doing that at 11 p.m. at night at the airport, waited for the results, got to the hotel at 1 a.m, and we had our results, so we were good to go. And then we met you guys the next day.
The very next day. That was
we did. We just wanted to go and say hello. Oh, let's message Steve
We had
Scott.
shopping.
He's from the north of England. Me and Kosta have got our bags of shopping.
Shopping, yeah.
I'll message these boys and we'll say hello. And the next minute they're making us drink these weird drinks. Oh,
guys.
Steve Scott had his top off. Oh, it was yeah.
I've seen a comment on there, and I think it was Tom Denton that commented on one of the social media to sort of pre-warn you guys a little bit.
Gave us warning.
If you could give any advice to any of your Australian listeners and stuff like that, is there such a thing as meeting up for a quiet chat?
Look, I was convinced it was going to be a hi guys, great to meet you, welcome to Australia. Wow, you made it. Yeah, it was.
3-1.
What time did we get home, Kosta?
Before.
Sorry. So to our hotel, we don't live together. It was quite late.
We could. Yeah, no, it got later than expected. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
It was so much fun. I remember going back on the way back to the hotel, like, how did that just happen? What just happened?
And
I'm wearing somebody else's t-shirt.
Aren't they the best nights? You swap t-shirts with Steve.
That's two lads from the northwest. You see, two lads from the northwest of England.
We even got flowers in the drinks at the second bar we went to.
Yeah.
Steve's
the bad influence though as well. I can be slightly bad, misbehave. I can, slightly be a bad influence. Good behavior. No, I don't mean in that way. But I mean, we had a good night. We had a bit of fun. I showed you a couple of dance moves outside the pub, which is,
hang on a minute. I also taught you a dance move as well. You need to think back at this.
I remember it.
Which one was
it? How does it go?
You need to show me. You're the one that's drinking.
I can't remember. I think I've actually got a video of it.
Let's not share it. But yeah, Steve's Steve's a bad influence. He's you're not going for if you're saying we're going to meet you. Yeah, we're going to meet you and do some networking at the you will meet in the hotel bar for one. That's not happening. So Steve said to me, I'd never met you guys, and it's good. We've talked quite a lot since coming back from us, and we've become fairly pretty good friends and stuff like that. But I didn't know you guys would be the same. You guys didn't know me. You probably didn't know anything about us, and vice versa. So Steve went, "Oh, we're going to meet Kosta and Jeff from the Garage Network." I went, "Yeah." He went, "Oh, they're good guys. We'll get them hammered."
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah, but see that doesn't work. You're drinking with the guys from Australia. Yeah, we don't get hammered.
We're pro drinkers. It just doesn't happen. We break people.
I don't know if I'm going to put this out there, guys. Right? I'm going to put this out.
Hang on a minute, Kosta. Can you press record as well?
Yeah.
Let's be a bit. I'll probably just burn all my bridges in Australia here, but I'm going to put it out there that you think you can. Because if you look at the guys, Kosta, you've just started doing a bit with Brett at GCG and stuff like that. So and Brett, I first met Brett over at a JLM event in Holland. We had a good night, good guy and stuff. So he sent his technical guy across for a week with me. He sent him across here for some training. So big commitment. Put the guy on a plane. Elliot flew all the way to the other side of the world to come stay. Newbiggin behind me. This is Newbiggin Beach Bar. Beautiful. Much better than Australia. And Ellie's super keen. He's like a sponge, and he wants to learn everything, you know. But the last warning that his boss gave him was, "Be careful going to the pub with these guys." He went, and so I did bless him on the last night. I took a little video and sent it to his boss, and he went, "Don't send that to my boss." And I was like, "Oops."
Too late.
Too late. He was taking up the whole pavement, walking along and stuff. So he went out with me, Steve Scott, and Dave Massey. So. Yeah. Dave, have you met Dave? I know you guys will all you've had Frank Massey across there numerous times. Dave's nuts as well, and it's quite a bad combination, to be honest. Me, Dave, there isn't the responsible adult there to say,
maybe
guys,
these people need to come to Australia. You know, let's have a straightener as what we.
I reckon
this out.
I reckon
let's have a straightener.
But the key thing was we were missing the responsible adult to say, guys, it's time to go home now or whatever, you know. So look, bless him.
I think we were quite responsible. We were quite responsible that
night.
We're,
to be honest.
We knew we're okay, guys. Tomorrow's a big day, you know. It was okay.
Yeah, I was a bit of a lightweight in Australia, to be truthful. I've got to say that, because I had some early nights, you know, because jet lag. And then on the final day, I had to talk to do and stuff like that. So I wanted to be pretty. So although you know, I can sort of be in the bar till 6 a.m. if I want to be, but if I'm doing a talk the next day, then I won't be. So
I'm pretty sure you said, you know, I think you said something like you're scared to keep drinking with us, or something along those lines.
I think I might have a video.
What it was, if I'm being honest, Kosta, our viewers here watching, I was scared because, you know, you're an incredibly handsome guy, and every one of them,
God bless
every
you.
one of them drinks we had with umbrellas and flowers, and you became even more handsome. And I'm like, look, this is. I've got to be careful here, or I'm going to phone my wife and say I'm not coming home, you know. And
if it's anything, you already had me sold with your baby blue eyes, mate. You had me sold straight away.
I've got them covered up today, haven't I?
I know. I'm glad you did, mate. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the Aussie look, you know, like down the beach, you know, got my mullet and stuff, you know, got the sunnies on. This hat's actually in,
drink much
you know,
beer.
Go on. Because there isn't any decent beer in.
Because it was too cold.
Yes,
the beer wasn't warm enough.
We should have warmed it. Yeah, should have warmed up.
The problem was finding a nice beer, you know. You can see why they get excited about Fosters and stuff over there, you know. It's just you know. And we went I think
it's a big Sunday. X on Darren Darling's name.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you've lost all the Australian listeners. They're all gone.
We had a couple of hours off, and I remember Jason Hunter, one of our guys in the network, brilliant guy. In fact, I've got his hat on at the moment. Hunter Automotive. I'll do a little twirl. Okay, can you see it?
Excellent.
So that's actually a genuine Aussie hat. I brought it back from Australia from Jason. I did, yeah. It's got Jason's logo on the front. So anyway, excellent. Cherie, Jason's wife, she goes out. She had a wander around while we were at the last day of the expo on the Saturday. So on the Sunday, we had work stuff to do in the afternoon. We had to travel out to Dandenong to Josh's workshop. But Cherie says, I found a bar for you guys. It sells Guinness. I went, oh, magic. We've got a couple of hours. So let's just go and have a chilled out couple of pints of Guinness. So we got there and it's closed. But it opens at 12. We need to leave about 2 p.m. Perfect. Nice pint of Guinness. And it's got a sign outside that says, best Guinness in Australia. This Irish one.
Good sign.
That's a bold statement.
That's a good sign.
So we just sat. There was a little wall opposite. So we sat there and we waited for the shutters. And I've got a photograph of me and Steve outside, yes, celebrating. The shutters came up and we went, oh, you've got no idea how pleased we are to see you. We're dying for a Guinness. He went, I haven't got any Guinness. I went, well, it says there, best Guinness in Australia outside. You're an Irish bar. What Irish bar doesn't have Guinness? He went, Formula One's on, mate. They all drank it last night.
Oh no!
Because Melbourne was rammed, wasn't it?
It was cranking.
And the guy had none.
Ever seen
so we sat outside like that, waiting for it, and they didn't have any. So it was such an anti-climax, going in
I
there.
actually remember. I remember the night we met. You guys were going on about finding Guinness, and everywhere we went, it's like there's not going to be Guinness around here because no one drinks Guinness. Like, what sort of drinks
Yeah,
that?
well, they all must have went there, and then
Yeah.
it's good.
Yuck.
You need to learn to drink it if you go to Ireland. You've got to have a pint of the black stuff with the Irish.
You see, I drink it if I went to Ireland. I've never been to Ireland, and maybe Kosta. Maybe we should have a Garage Network event in Ireland. What do you think?
We should go just to try the Guinness specifically.
Just to try the Guinness, yeah.
You
go
should
there,
come
get Guinness.
The same weekend I flew out to see to Australia. Autumn Form was in Dublin, so that by all accounts was a good event. I'd done the previous one in Cork. Brilliant weekend. Just really, really super keen. The guys are really up for learning and things like that. Really good atmosphere, so you would enjoy that. So
do we drink drinks with umbrellas and salad in them?
I think the Irish boys might have something to say about that. Like the one that some good friends over there, and I think I might be shown the door if I turned up with an umbrella, But if I pre-warn them, I'll send out a memo to say Kosta's coming, bless him. This is what he does. This is what he likes. Please be nice to him. I think
I've got no issue bringing my own little umbrellas and my own little pieces of flour, as long as I can provide.
I might skip this event because I think Kosta's going to get stoned and lynched and burnt at the stake.
I'll put a little memo out to see if you'll be allowed to come, but it will be funny seeing you being searched when you're being searched at the airport and they're pulling out all these flowers and stuff like that.
They're not going to find them where I hide them.
In Dubai airport on the way home, I got searched. You get these really nice. We're having 2 nighttime flights. You get this really nice posh little soap bag from Emirates. I'm like, wow, I'm taking this home. You know the drill, boys.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a council
It's
estate
free.
guy.
It's free.
I grew up in a council estate, and it's one of our soap bags of traveling's like a sandwich bag or something.
If it's not bolted down, it is yours.
Yeah, that's right. No, I was given to us. You didn't take it. But, so anyway, Steve gave me one of it. So I had 3 of them in my bag, and so we're at Dubai airport, ready to fly back on the second flight, and they done an impromptu search because there was an increased security risk. So even though I'd been through security, the guy searched my bag, and it was funny. The security guy, he pulled out one soap bag, opened it up, then another one. He went, and I went, well, that's all I went. And I just saw it. I didn't really know what to say, and I just sort of went, and he went. And he sort of gave me a look. He gave me a look, right? But he put them all back in my bag, and he just sort of looked as if to say, "Yeah, I would have kept them as well. Of course, the flight's cost enough. I'm keeping the soap bag, And it was just the look that he gave us, as if to say he was going to give me, questioners, and then he just sort of went, I would have, done it as well. So it was all good. So, anyway, I've got a couple of things I'd like to ask you guys. Right?
Go on.
So we've covered enough of the boring stuff really about work, isn't it? You've got, Jeff had no friends. You formed a network.
I had no friends. I still no friends. So if anybody wants to reach out,
you've got 3,500.
Jeff Taylor, send me a friend request. I'll be your friend.
Yeah, you've got 3,500 acquaintances now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So before we move on a little bit to what you do outside work and things like that, Kosta, I'm quite curious why you didn't go into the family coffee business. What made you choose cars over coffee?
Well, because I don't like drinking the profits, you see.
Ah, right. You got some good coffee in Australia and stuff like that.
We have great coffee.
You decided to fix cars as well.
Yeah, we thought there's enough good coffee going out there. We'll just keep you fixing the cars.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a nice, straightforward answer. And
nothing to do with his tax dodging.
Well, you don't dodge tax.
Look, I'm in Australia. Cash. You can't find me. See you later. I'll tell you.
If you just take cash, you don't avoid tax. Yeah.
And Jeff, I'm curious as well, especially when you've got beautiful scenery like this. I've got in the background at Newbiggin by the sea. You've got equally.
I thought I saw Peter Richards swimming in the sea behind you.
Yeah, you did. Oh, Peter, listen to this, won't he? Because
I know, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I just thought like I saw him, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I couldn't. It was his skin.
He is.
too
No,
pale.
he's done now. It's 5 a.m. Peter goes swimming at 5 a.m. in the North Sea, which is tropical, as you can see in the background. You've equally got tropical beaches in Blackpool, so you decided to swap Blackpool donkeys for surfboards.
Yes.
Why? What? You know?
Because look, there's only so many donkeys you can ride, you know.
By the way, they call me donkey.
True story. True story. But
you know, there's so many rides you can go between the piers. Like
what are you saying?
So So now, if you tell our listeners, what part of Australia is it you live in? You're living in Sydney.
So I'm in Sydney, North Sydney. So I live. I'm really lucky. I live on a place called the Northern Beaches, which is just surrounded by beautiful beaches, sharks, spiders, some snakes.
You see, I would take the donkeys over the sharks and snakes and stuff like that, you know. But a big lifestyle change, though, not just the weather, the whole culture and lifestyle, a lot different to the UK.
Do you know, it's I could probably spend another hour talking about this, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the UK. I didn't leave to get away from it. Obviously dodged a bit of tax, like Kosta. But I'd never been to Australia. Didn't know what it was going to be like. I've met guys like Kosta, a few of the guys on the Garage Network. Obviously, I've been in the motor trade for a long, long time. And you couldn't pay me enough money to go back. I love Blackpool. There's nothing wrong with it, but my life's in Australia now, for sure. And I've got 3,500 acquaintances.
Yeah,
I'm not turning that up.
That's good. I made you feel. On a serious note, we were made to feel very welcome in Australia when we come across. We really were. I've been speaking to quite a few guys since coming back. Not just guys we work with that we're delivering training to or whatever, but we picked up some good contacts with people like yourself, and but a lot of people was just, if there's anything you need while you're here, guys, just give us a shout, and that goes a long way. I'm speaking to a guy at the minute in Australia that's doing a trip over here next year, and I'm trying to return the favor and point them in the right direction with the right people and stuff. And
well, look at the beach you've got to show him. That's amazing. That's a beautiful. Honestly,
beach. when
where's the bridge? Where's that bridge? Your big bridge that you've got in Newcastle? Is it on the left or on the right?
See, I'm 20 miles from that bridge. I'm quite rural. This is Newbiggin by the sea.
Okay.
They've just opened a new beach club. Yeah. And it's always like this, the weather. It's always, clear water, clear blue skies. It's really stunning.
Nice.
I don't know why you would
really
ever. Nice. What you should have done, Jeff, is just move to Newbiggin.
Maybe I should have done. I mean,
you got all the other benefits of Australia without the sharks and the snakes.
Yeah,
you have some spiders, but they're quite small. They're just little.
Yeah. Sharks are fine. They normally don't take. They'll take maximum one limb. They don't really go for the whole body. They're okay.
So I saw somebody share on Facebook yesterday, and it was quite a small shark, and they were tickling it, and I'm like, really? Yeah, you can see something's going to happen here because somebody's got a video camera, and the guy's tickling a little shark, and then it turned, got his finger, and ripped his finger off.
Yeah, see, that's all. That's all right.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, what did you expect the shark to do? Lick you?
You see, I've been to the Maldives and I've seen small sharks at the Maldives, and I was a bit scared at first. And these things they'd probably make a good fish and chips. But it's a reasonable size.
Did you try and tickle it though? This was probably 4 foot long or something like that.
No.
Because I think that's probably not the smartest move you could ever make. To be truthful, isn't it?
No, you would try and avoid him. You don't go for
it. But what if it was smiling? Would you tickle it then?
No.
We still talking about a shark?
Yeah. It's like when you speak John Willis, mate, up in the Northern Territories, up in Darwin, Crocodile Dundee country up there, in it, and it's they're everywhere. And he says, next time you need to come up here, and I'm like, no.
No, look, it's the crocodiles you got to be careful of. The sharks are okay. It's the crocodiles.
But they're
they'll
everywhere.
come on land. They will come on land and get you.
Yeah.
Like, forget about don't swim. No, they will come to your house. They'll knock on your door and they'll bite your face.
Don't take me to surf school, and I'm not going up to see John in Darwin because I'm going to get eaten one way or the other. At least when I go to Scotland on holiday, I just get eaten by midgies and I get lots of little bites, but they don't take you whole.
Sorry, what's a midgie?
Midgie, you need to come to Scotland in the summer and sweat a little bit, and then you'll.
Can you somehow, can you translate that into a language that we understand?
Like little mosquitoes and that,
Okay, all right.
Like lots of little bites and stuff like that.
Oh, it's like I've got two.
Like you don't take a whole arm off.
Every time I speak to Jeff, I learn new words.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Pinky.
So the other thing you swapped as well is you didn't just give up donkeys. You've swapped kebabs for kangaroo burgers, and there's lots of little things.
Hang on one second. Right, let's get this straight. It's took me 5 years to find a good kebab. Mossman kebabs.
You've been looking.
It's called Mossman Turkish kebabs. Splendid. Beautiful.
What's
that's a free plug.
Guys, hold on, Darren. This is the issue. So Jeff lives in the Northern Beaches sort of area of Sydney. So it's we'll say posh-ish area. It's quite posh, right? So you're not going to get the kebab shops. So if you want the kebab shops, you've got to make your way south of the bridge. That's where you start to get the proper kebab shops in there. I don't know what he's talking about. We've got a fair few around my local area.
Serves him right, really, for being posh, I suppose, doesn't it?
He's pretty posh. He's pretty posh. There's
got to be something though, right? Because my daughter just recently come back from a year in Spain, and she'd been back she got back on the Thursday, so on the Sunday it was a Sunday lunch, traditional. So went to the local pub round the corner. She's absolutely loved everything about being in Spain, but she's like, oh, I can't wait for a Sunday dinner. So I bet little things like that will be there'll be
yes and no. Because my missus, she's English, so she makes his stuff. So I still get my full English breakfast. I found the bacon. It took a bit of time. Bacon's food of the gods. So I did my research, did some R&D, did some sniff testing, got some awesome bacon. So my missus, she will knock up a full English with all the trimmings, HP sauce, and the same with a roast dinner. She does her own Yorkshire puddings.
Brilliant.
So I'm glad to see. Do
you want to be my friend and you can come over and have?
I want to stay at Jeff's. Next time I travel to Australia, I'm going to stay at Jeff's. So
this is where it's at. The Northern Beaches. Like, I've got a harbour view. I mean, if you need binoculars, but I've got a view of the harbour.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do? Obviously, you guys, you're like ourselves, where you're really invested in what you do with work, and it'll take up a huge amount of time, to the point where I reckon Kosta doesn't sleep. Because, when you've got people on different time zones, I've got to remember to put my phone on silent at a certain time of day, because I'll get a message at 3 a.m. Now, it's not 3 a.m. on that time zone. Someone's just dropped a message and I'll pick it up when I'm awake. That's cool. So I messaged Kosta a couple of weeks ago, maybe, or something like that, and thinking he'll get that in 5 hours time, and then ping straight away. And I'm like, and I was like, does he ever sleep? So it's like whatever time of day he's there and he's back and he answers you, and it's so now I start to think I best not send it now, because it's got to be like 3 o'clock in the morning in Oz.
Yeah, that's I probably was awake. Yeah.
Costa sleeps upside down.
I've got a problem.
That was the hardest thing.
I have a difficult time turning off. Yeah, very difficult time turning off.
So what do you do to switch off, though? What do you do?
I've got 4 items on Marketplace that Costa's sent me.
Yeah, well, you've got to have something outside of the motor trade to take your mind off or de-stress and stuff like that. Absolutely. So how do you clear your head? What do you do to get away from? you know?
I do a fair bit of training. When I say training, I mean like physical training. I go, go to the gym, do a fair bit of boxing as well. We've got a little bit of farmland just out of Sydney, go there often as well. Even tonight, after we're done here now, probably go watch a movie with the missus as well.
Yeah.
But look, pretty jam-packed, to be honest.
So that's where the big guns come from. I noticed that when I first seen you. I was like, wow, look at this guy.
So when Kosta mentioned boxing, he has this like roll of tape and he sticks them together.
Ah, yeah.
Different sizes.
I create boxes, correct.
I do a bit of boxing. I do a bit of boxing.
To be honest, to quote Steve Scott though, right? When Steve first seen him, and he mentioned and I knew that you'd done a bit of boxing, and you did a bit of kickboxing as well, don't you, and stuff like that. And Steve's like, yeah, I wouldn't know whether to fight him or. I'll beat fight him or beat him. Beat him, And I thought, you kind of argue with that. And I said to Steve, I've got to agree with you. Like, he's a handsome looking man with them big guns. And I wouldn't know which one to do first, if I'm being honest with you, So,
well, look, if it's any consolate, anyone you want.
Awesome. So, Jeff, what's your sort of getaway? What do you do as a release? I should have phrased that bit better when I
was going to say, what time is it there now? Is the time changed? No, look, we Kosta, behave. We bought a puppy.
You've set the dogs off now. It's probably a dog on the beach running along, chasing the ball or something like that.
Get a frisbee. No, we actually got a puppy. So obviously, my missus works very hard, so we try and get out and do a few things. And we bought a puppy, a COVID puppy, and he takes up a lot of our time. So when we're not working or Gary's not working, we're out with the dog.
Yeah,
having a mooch around Australia, and
awesome.
I've got an old motorbike which I've been rebuilding for 4.5 years now. It's still an ongoing project, but
that'll be
good. And then in my other time, I look at pictures of Darren Darling and when my missus is asleep.
Well, what Jeff and I did, we've actually got life-sized Darren Darling cutouts, and they're just right next to our beds.
Yeah, well,
it'd be really handy because you can put them anywhere.
The thing is now, the good thing with this podcast is you can now listen to it late at night, and it'll help, nice and soothing, and it'll send you to sleep and stuff like that, So, no, it's all good. So, love the motorbike thing though. That's my release. I like to get away. I like to get away.
I think I saw a picture. You've got is it like an adventure bike or something like that?
Yeah, I did. It's more of a tall sports tourer I've got now. Getting old and bad backs and stuff and things like that, So yeah, I've got a Yamaha Tracer 9 GT. It's a nice sports tourer, good fun. So gets you away from work, So clears your head.
We need a release. It can't all be cars and cars and training, and we do need a release as humans.
Kosta's good. I used to do better myself, when I was a bit younger and before a few injuries and stuff like that. And it's quite a good release, Kosta, as well. When you've had a bad week and you can punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
But the downside is they're gonna punch you back.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's all in good fun.
It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the fun.
It's all part of the
fun.
But
it is a good, good stress relief, So I'll give you.
He does. It helps me clear my head. It helps me keep, de-stress for the week. It's good.
You see, maybe you need to work out a bit harder because then you wouldn't be awake at 3 a.m. So you should maybe actually do something when you go to this gym instead of lurking around,
buying Mars bars and stuff like that.
Mars bars at the vending machine.
Well, that's the best machine in the gym is the vending machine.
Yeah. So awesome. Listen, guys, I think we've probably covered most stuff now. I'm gonna go and try and grab a proper beer from somewhere. I'm actually lying. It's 11 a.m. right? It's 11 a.m. So I'm actually gonna go and fix some cars. But for you guys, it's Friday night, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say it's 11 a.m., so it's time for whiskey. You got to.
Yeah, if I didn't have some cars to fix,
I think you should just do a couple of laps. Just do some breaststrokes in that nice sea behind you there.
Yeah.
Why breaststroke, Jeff?
Because that's the best stroke to do, isn't it?
It's the
No
only
comment.
one. It's the only one. So
I cannot believe.
I'll leave the listeners to think about that, you know. So, but
Yeah.
guys, as always, you know, when I talk to you guys, we could talk all day, you know, and it's been fun. So, you know, thanks for joining us in the pub. Hopefully, you know, we might be from a different pub next time. So please, for the listeners, tune in. We've got some more interesting guests lined up for this. So hopefully you have enjoyed it. Been a bit of fun, guys, as usual.
That's
you know,
always,
we've had a
mate.
laugh.
Yeah.
You know, so and hopefully I shall see. If not, Kosta, hopefully I might see you in America.
Well, it's in my schedule. Trying to make it marry up.
See if
So,
it
yes.
marries up. So there you go. I've made it public there now. I might see you in Philadelphia later on this year. Keep me posted. So
I'll
guys,
message you at 3 a.m., mate.
yeah, I message at 3 a.m. Hopefully it's a weekend now, so I will have a couple of beers tonight when I finish work, and I'll be fast asleep, and I'll not hear the phone anyway. So, but guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for sort of joining us and stuff like that, and we'll speak again soon. So, cheers, guys.
See you, mate.
Thank you.